Hi, this is Polly from thefitmumformula.com, and today I'm going to be discussing what is the best diet for health and weight loss. And believe me, if I had £1, every time I was asked this, I would be extremely wealthy indeed. But the problem is, there isn't really one answer because each person is unique and so many different factors will come into that. For example, body type. Some people are naturally tall and lean, and other people are stocky and either muscly or chubbier, and all of those things are going to have effect on what the right kind of food approach is for you. We've got people on different budgets, so somebody who has an unlimited budget for food, they perhaps have a lot broader range of foods they can choose from than somebody is on a very limited and very tight budget. We've got dietary preferences. Some people are vegetarian or vegan, other people love meat, other people don't eat gluten or dairy or have other allergies. Some people have lots of time for cooking and preparing foods, and so they will like to buy things that are completely natural in the whole form, shape, and prefer to cook things from scratch. Other people with the best will in the world just don't have the means all the time, or maybe it's the skills, and so they're going to need things that are a little bit easier to prepare and are quicker and perhaps slightly more packaged. That doesn't necessarily they're going to be less healthy, but they are quicker and easier and more ready-made, if you like. People come to me with different nutritional knowledge. So some people have loads of knowledge already that is really accurate about nutrition and food and calories and health. Other people think they know a lot, but a lot of the information they've been given is actually inaccurate and they've been quite misled. And then we've got people who will, hand on heart, say they really don't know a lot about nutrition at all. So for example, let's take for example if it fits your macros, which is where you count calories and macronutrients, so the amount of carbs, protein and fats that you're consuming. Well, if you don't understand what foods have protein or carbohydrates or fat in them, then you're not going to be able to do that. So you have to have a certain amount of knowledge to be able to do that particular protocol. And the same principle applies for anything really. If you don't understand how to follow a protocol, then you're not going to be able to do it successfully, whether it's good for you or not. And finally, we've got time. Some people have loads of time and some people have very little time. So that's obviously going to affect the approach that we end up with, that's being sustainable for them long term, really, which is the ideal situation. So the best way to approach a dietary choice for you is not to get pigeonholed into one particular area, because no one thing is going to be right for everybody, and it's about being a little bit flexible and working with what's right for you personally. And any professional or coach who tries to pigeonhole you and say, look, this is the best way forward, or that's the best diet, or this food is wrong, or that's bad for you, that's something to be wary of, because that means they're being ignorant to your needs and your circumstances, and that just doesn't make for a good coach, and it's not helpful for you, because it means that whatever they're going to give you might not be the best thing or the easiest thing for you to follow. So the best diets all have, that being said, certain things in common. So all of them will first and foremost raise awareness of food and nutrition. So one of the things that people find if they embark on a diet, any diet for that matter, they often find they do get results very quickly. But what they fail to realise is it might not be the diet per se, and this applies to things like meal replacement plans and detoxes and everything. Sometimes it is that you're just suddenly paying attention to what you're eating, and you're really thinking about what you put in your mouth, and you're not just eating everything in sight without a second thought. And just that thought process really does help you to make much better food decisions than if you weren't thinking about it. They all emphasise quality. Now, I did mention processed foods and ready meals, but that doesn't mean junk food. We're still going to aim for the best we can in any situation. So if somebody can really only eat things that they can bung in the oven or bung in the microwave, you still want to aim for the best choices within that category. You know, we're aiming for good, not perfect. So they do emphasise quality, and that also carries on over into the next point, which is they eliminate deficiencies, because any sort of nutritional deficiency will make you feel less than perfect. It'll make you feel tired and lacking energy. Some common ones are vegetarians and vegans often lack protein. Women are often low in iron and B vitamins, and so all of these things, once you get those corrected, you'll just feel better in yourself if you're getting everything you need. So with food quality, that usually happens naturally. Sometimes with things like vegans, vegetarians, you have to really put a lot more effort into something like, for example, protein. But it's not difficult when you know how, and most nutritional needs are met pretty easily by a varied, healthy diet. They are satisfying. They naturally reduce hunger and cravings, and while increasing energy, and that makes, especially in terms of weight loss, that makes sticking to it so much easier, because then you don't have to consciously try and hold yourself back from food and try and fight hunger and fight sugar cravings. Because if you're naturally feeling full, feeling satisfied, you're not being bogged down by sugar cravings, and you're generally feeling good in yourself, then you're not going to be wanting food. Yes, you might turn to food for comfort and emotional reasons, and that's another thing to tackle that's separate, but at least you're not having to count calories and battle hunger all the time if you're naturally feeling full even while you're on a calorie deficit. So that's a really useful one if weight loss is your goal as well. And finally, they also promote things outside of the diet itself, because while food is really important and nutrition is really important, it's not the only thing that matters. Exercise is really good for everybody. Getting enough sleep is so important. Getting fresh air, getting sunlight, relaxation time, keeping your mental health and emotions and mood in check, all of things are so important. And you could be following the best diet in the world for you, whatever that is, but if all of the other areas of your life are falling apart, then you're going to be feeling really bad, both physically and mentally as well. So the right approach from a health coach point of view doesn't just take into account your diet, it also looks into other areas. And sometimes these other areas can have a knock-on effect. So we take sleep for an example. If you are lacking in sleep, you're going to be more hungry and have more sugar cravings. That is a biological fact. That is what happens when you're underslept. So again, if your goal is to lose weight, by making sure you get enough sleep, and I know it's not easy, especially for us mums, but that's really going to help keep that hunger and those cravings under control. So just to summarise, there are so many different factors that come into choosing what is the best dietary approach for you, from your budget, your food preferences, the amount of time you've got, your cooking skills, nutritional knowledge, and anybody who tries to pigeonhole you into one set way is really missing the bigger picture of what's right for you. And if you attempted to follow a way that isn't right for you, you'll probably find it very difficult to stick to indeed. The best approach is make sure you have a well-rounded approach to your health. You've got high energy, you're not feeling hungry, you've not got sugar cravings, you're eating as good quality food as possible. They're raising your awareness and making you think a little bit about what you're eating. And that's where sometimes meal replacements aren't so good, because it means you don't have to think about it, which on the surface makes it easy because there is no decision, you just drink the shake. But then that process of having to think about what you're eating actually teaches you things along the way. So that's why when people come off these things, they don't actually manage to keep the weight off, because they haven't learned anything about their body or health or food or nutrition along the way. And they just generally, they emphasise good food and make you feel good. So what's the best diet? Well, there's all different ways. There's no right or wrong. Paleo can be great. Vegetarian can be great. Vegan, it's tough, but it can be pretty good. Whether you're meat eaters, whether you cook everything from scratch or eat more processed foods and more ready-made foods, all of it can be good. The most important thing is that it's right for you, it makes you feel good, and it fits into your life, because it should fit into your life, not the other way around. If it doesn't fit into your life, you won't stick to it. And at the end of the day, if you can't stick to it, it's not going to work. Doesn't matter how good it is. I hope that was helpful. If anyone's got any questions about that, please do shoot me an iron at polly@thefitmumformula.com, or comment below and share this with anyone else you think it might be helpful for. Okay, thanks very much.